For them, I think they understood the system, but for me as a foreigner, it was something challenging on my part, because back there in Nigeria, they come in singles, but coming to the Philippines to take up nursing, and I saw that it was more like a culture shock, and it was also challenging, you know. Hi lovelies, welcome back again to another video. If you are seeing this face for the first time, my name is Ruth, BSN graduate from one of the universities here in the Philippines, and you are most welcome to Nurse with Nook. For my old G's, thank you so much guys for always tuning in to watch my videos. I do not take you guys for granted. So in today's video, I'm going to be discussing with you things you need to know as a student nurse here in the Philippines. So if it is what you are interested in finding out, please do well to keep on watching. Welcome back lovelies. So without wasting much of your time, let's dive right into the video. Number one thing you need to know before coming to the Philippines to take up nursing is, in the Philippines, when you talk about the tuition for nursing as a student nurse, the higher you go in nursing, the more you pay. The higher you go, the more the tuition in nursing. So the higher you go in nursing, the more money you pay in terms of your tuition. I will never forget this experience. When I started nursing, I was told that in nursing, the higher you go, the lesser it becomes. And I gladly shared it with my people. Like, I shared it with my family members that, oh, the higher you go, the lesser the money, like the lesser the tuition. But to my greatest surprise, from first year, the money I paid in first year was nothing compared to what I paid in second year. And third year, it's tripled. I was like, I thought nursing is the higher I go, the lesser it becomes. But my dear, the truth is, in nursing, the higher you go, the more you pay. I will never forget my third year, because that was when I paid the highest tuition. I will never forget it. In third year, we pay for affiliation fees. During my own time, affiliation fee was very, very expensive. And in my own school, we go for affiliation to Manila 2 times. And this excludes the money you are paying for your tuition. So just bear it in mind. Do not, like I thought before, I thought the higher you go in nursing, the lesser it becomes. But the reality is, the higher you go in nursing, the more money you pay. Anyway, I don't know, maybe it depends on school, but for my own school and some of the schools around, the higher you go, the more money you pay. I remember one school in my province, their own tuition from first year is always less compared to what we pay in my own school. But when they got to third year, our own affiliation was times 2 or 3 of what our own school affiliation fee was. So the point I'm trying to make in this number one is, just bear in mind, in nursing, the higher you go, the more money you pay. Number 2 is clinical exposure. For some schools in the Philippines, they expose their students to clinical duties as from first year, second semester, while some schools expose their students to clinical duties from second year, first semester. The third point is, let me say, this is like a suggestion or advice to foreign students who are in nursing, especially newcoming ones, the newbies, and for those in their first and second year, those that are yet to be exposed to clinical duties. My advice for you is, once you are exposed to hospital, please take filling of your cases seriously. Take it seriously, I repeat, because in Philippines, all the requirements must be met. Remember that nursing in the Philippines is 4 years, so do not be the cause of you having extension or not graduating when you are supposed to graduate with your mates. Anytime you get your cases, make sure you get your case number, make sure you get your patient's name, make sure you fill in all those important details, and make sure you get the signature of the staff nurse you worked with and also your CI. Ask questions if you are confused at any point. Ask your CI, ask your fellow mates, but most importantly, ask your CI. That's why she's your CI. She's there to guide you. So take filling of your case slips and your case forms seriously. You'll know more about it by the time they expose you to hospital duties. Next point is, in the Philippines, some schools at the beginning of each section give you all the required materials, all the required things you need for the section. Both the textbooks, the uniforms, they include it all and they give it to you. But then it is added to your tuition fee. One good thing is, if there are things you do not really need, which was added by the school, you can meet them and you remove the ones you want to remove, or you add the ones you feel you want to add. So just bear in mind that schools in the Philippines, there are some that give you everything you need for each section, while some will just give you your tuition to pay for the section, while they give you the materials, every other material you need to get, you can go outside to get it. This point brings me to something I said I was going to be sharing with you at the end of this video, which is something I found so challenging during my undergrad. That was getting textbooks as a student nurse. In nursing, you will buy textbook and buy textbooks, you will get tired. Now, this was what I found so challenging. We are required to buy textbooks in every section, and these textbooks, they come in seal pack. Let me put it like that. If you are buying fundamentals of nursing, you are required to get a textbook and at the same time get the manual for your assignments. This manual and the textbooks, they come together, they seal it together. You cannot separate them at all. They are always together. Like the authors of these textbooks, they seal it together. So this was so challenging for me, because even though I had someone that wanted to give me the textbook, I could not take the textbook because I needed the manual, and I cannot get the manual. Even some of my classmates, as my Filipinos, they could not make use of their siblings' textbooks because we needed the manual. To get the manual, that means we just need to get the whole pack, get a textbook. For example, if you have 2 siblings in a class, the other person must get textbook. Since it is sealed, you will get yours sealed, while your other sibling will get his or hers sealed. But I feel if these textbooks produced by these authors or producers, if they can produce it separately, manual separate from the textbooks, in a situation where you have 2 siblings in a class, they can just go for the textbook alone. Then why each of them will just get the manual, reducing the cost of getting the textbook, because normally the manual is supposed to be cheaper. It's just something you use for assignments for each topic, and the manual is not something you can transfer to the next person. Like if you have a sibling that is coming after you, you cannot transfer the manual because it is expected before the end of your section, it's expected of you to maybe have consumed it all by writing assignments and all of those works that instructors give. So I think the authors or the producers of this textbook, I don't know how to put it, but if they can be producing it separately, manuals and textbooks separate from the textbook, especially for textbooks like medical and surgical nursing, fundamentals of nursing, maternal and childbirth, so that if someone is giving you a textbook, you can just go and get the manual, thereby reducing costs and helping the student as well. So I don't know those in charge of producing the textbook or those responsible for production of such textbooks. If they can look into it and produce it separately, they could help us, because in nursing, from your first up to your 4th year, you keep buying textbooks, and these textbooks are a bit expensive. Anyway, this is just my candid opinion, because I don't know the reason behind joining everything, sealing everything, and not making it separate. I don't know the reason behind it. Unlike the medical students, they don't really go about buying textbooks. Most of the things they use, I think they have, like the medical students in my school, I think they have access to online textbooks, and they have a way they make use of online textbooks and all of that. It saves them the stress of buying manually, like getting big textbooks. Like we that are foreigners, when going back, you cannot go with these textbooks because it is so heavy and it is too big to even think of carrying it down home. No, that's crazy. Even for the locals, they also buy all these textbooks. Although there are some of the textbooks that come single, well, most of the subjects in nursing, the textbook comes sealed. I think if the textbooks can be separated from the manual, it will save some cost. It saves some cost on the part of the students. If you are required to get textbook, you can make use of your senior's textbook while you go ahead to buy your manual. Anyway guys, it's just a personal opinion. Although some of my classmates, when I asked and complained about it, like I was really curious about it. When I asked, they understood the system, but for me as a foreigner, it was something challenging on my part. Allow me to call that culture shock. Yeah, I don't know if to say it was a culture shock, because back there in Nigeria, these textbooks, they come in singles, like just single textbooks. If you want to get the manual, you get it separate. The textbook, you get it separate. But coming to the Philippines to take up nursing, and I saw that the textbooks and the manual was always sealed together. You cannot separate them. I was wowed. So for me, it was more like a culture shock, and it was also challenging, you know. Another point is, if you are applying into colleges or universities here in the Philippines, some schools require both local and international applicants to take an entrance examination before admission. So do not be surprised as a foreigner if the school you are applying to will require you to take entrance examination. It depends. And do not be scared for the examination. For those that write entrance examination, the examination is not that difficult. It is something you can do if the school you are applying to require you to take an entrance examination. And the last thing I would like to chip in here is the tuition for every school differs from school to school. There is no fixed amount for this. Depends on the school you are applying to. It also depends on your location, if you are staying in the province or you are staying in the city. So with this, I've come to the end of today's video. If you are still watching me and you are yet to subscribe to my channel, please do well to hit the red subscribe button, and remember to turn on your post notification bell so you'll be notified anytime I upload a new video. Remember to give this video a huge thumbs up, leave your comments down in the comment section, and if you need admission assistance, feel free to reach out to me. Until I come your way next time, I remain your favorite nurse, Ruth, signing out. Love you all.